Hello. So I have to interrupt you now. And yeah. Hello. Right. Hello, fellow Rotarians on the screen. Okay, they're all muted.
We can hear you.
Oh, thank you, Palita. Thank you. That's what I wanted to test it. No, they will see. She is organizing that. Yeah. DG Rajamohan, honorary member, Park Mohan, distinguished guests, charming spouses, fellow Rotarians in the room and also on the screen. Visiting Rotarians, past President Frank Lim. Our speaker, Mr. Magnus Grimeland. Thank you for being with us today to attend our 40th club meeting and third physical meeting for this Rotary year. And I warmly welcome you all. I think the 40th meeting is significant and I think it needs a little celebration. So I would like to raise toast for our 40th meeting this year. Cheers. Thank you. And thank you all for all your support throughout these 40 meetings, starting from 1st of July. And I think it has, in spite of COVID and whatever, has gone very well. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. We had excellent attendance in different meetings. We went once more than 100. 70, 80 has been norm. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now I'd like to call upon past President Stan to welcome the guest of our Rotarians and guest of our members and visiting Rotarian. Past President Stan, please. Thank you.
Thank you, President Dinesh, for giving me this opportunity to welcome all our guests this evening and also visiting Rotarians.
You are muted. Muted.
Can you see me, Palita?
Please unmute.
Oh, okay. I'll bring the mic then. Okay. Okay. Can you see me now? Okay then. Never mind. It's more important to welcome all our guests this evening. First of all, some dignitaries that we have to recognize, ladies and gentlemen. We have District Governor Rajamohan Munisamy. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to say something. At the end of my announcement, then we give everyone a collective welcome. That would be a lot easier. So when I call your name, hey, just a second. So when I call your name, just put up your hand so we can recognize you. Is that all right? Okay, here we go. Then we have past President Frank Lim. Frank, sister club, our sister club. Thanks, Frank. Now we have a very important guest, our guest speaker, Mr. Magnus Grimeland. Magnus, and also Mrs. Andrea Haju Hao. Welcome. Of course, then we have Mrs. Nika Musami, wife of DG. Hi, welcome. Not forgetting, sitting next to her is our First Lady, Rekha. Hi, Rekha. Welcome. I have to mention this properly. Her name is Mrs. Dolores Lowe. Welcome, welcome. Oh, or else I wouldn't get home tonight. Mrs. Doreen Medora, hi, welcome. Mrs. Prabha, past First Lady, Prabha. Mrs. Yvonne Wu, welcome, welcome. Mrs. Rachel Yap, Dr. Rachel Yap, welcome. We have a special young guest here, Global Grant Scholar, Yuta Momose. Yeah. Just for your information, he'll be here for a few more days and he's back to Japan. Good luck. Yeah. Dr. Stephen Uy, Dr. Stephen Uy, hi, welcome. Mr. Cedric Chiu, Cedric, welcome. Mr. Ingo Kleinschmidt, Mr. Ingo Kleinschmidt, welcome. And my new friend, Mr. Jan Robert. Jan, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now ask you to please give our, you all know what to do. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, PP Stan. Is that okay now? Okay. Now I'll call upon Rotarian Atul Marchant to raise the toast for Rotary Club of Kuala Lumpur, Diraja, and Rotary International. Rotarian Atul, please.
Thank you, President Dinesh. This is our third meeting, hybrid meeting, and we were missing these three important ceremonies, welcoming guests, hosting the clubs from overseas, and also having a guest speaker. Today we will be having all three of them, and it's my pleasure today to introduce to you and have a toast to the KL, the Raja Club, which has been our sister club since 1993. We are very fortunate to have their past president, PP Frank Lim, to be with us today, and we have a very warm welcome for him today. Thank you, President. We have done many projects with the club, and one of the main GGs we have done with them is in 2014, the renovation of the basement of the Rotary Children's Facility over there. I kindly request PP Frank Lim to come and give us a small talk on your club, please.
Thank you, my good friend. President Dinesh, First Lady, District Governor, this is my second meeting with you. I'm very blessed, I've never planned for the meetings to be here, but because of your wonderful country, I believe, our good neighbor. I'm here because of just very quickly, I know you have your speaker, I hope you don't mind I borrowed some time. I want to thank Singapore for allowing me to be here. Actually, I came during Chinese New Year because there was an impending lockdown in Malaysia for the Chinese New Year. So, and my daughter is expecting her second grandchild. So, as you know, the boss of the home is your wife. She said, get ready, pack, and we want to go to Singapore. I said, how am I going to go? I'm not sure. But the efficiency of Singapore, as I said, is superb. My daughter applied on the 15th of February. On the 16th or 17th, 2 days after that, we got the approval. Malaysia tried to outbid, but it took another 4 or 5 days for me to get approval. I took the first flight from the SIA. I was here on the 20th or the 21st, So that's now, I'm now here for at least about, I think more than 2 months. But it's such a wonderful place that I've been because I've come here quite often because of my daughter, my grandchild. I actually overstayed. So I told PP Shahul, I overstayed. So, but your ICA is so efficient. She was very kind. She extended my stay to May. So here I am actually, or else I would have to be, I have to be back last month. Anyway, this is a short introduction on myself while I'm here. I'm sure you all are surprised. Yeah, I'm an unofficial guest, but now become very official because I'm the only one from my club in the whole of my club that is allowed to come to Singapore, I believe. Anyway, I want to thank, first of all, my host, PP Shahol, has been very kind. Has been, we had tea together with Varun and Mr. Rotary Mohan, and a few of you that we have met up. The reason for the projects is that because of a good relationship that our club that has been with you all. Since 1993, I was here for the signing. I think that time was in Mandarin Hotel in Raffles City, between my past president Hadib and your past president. So on that, Philbert and our club, as it basically are the three main clubs for the benefit of some of the younger Rotarians. We are the three main clubs in the whole of this Asian country, Southeast Asian country. Rotary Club of Bangkok, Rotary Club of Kuala Lumpur, and Rotary Club of Singapore. And then the district has decided as they grew, they split, the district becomes much bigger. So it's become 3300 for us, up to Malacca, and then 3310 for Singapore. Together, we have been very close relationship since when Rotary started. It's almost about 100 over years. So from there, I think it's our two past district governor, Dato Mustafa Ma, that's from my club, and together with PDG Philbert Chin, they started this relationship of having the pets and sets for the young incoming training new members of the board. With that, the signing was ushered between the two gentlemen and the Singapore and the Bangkok club. That's how our relationship became the sister club relation since 1993, which is now almost 28 years already. So I thank, first of all, for all the Rotarians who have been very active, who attended our installation. And I feel very at home, especially the way, the manner the clubs adopts the meetings with our charming ladies that are here today, and also the various functions that we have. We always include our ladies and the Rotarians. So last but not the least, these little projects that we had was instigated by PP Shaho together with Philbert Chin, and I think I'm afraid Jimmy is not here. Jimmy was also one of the earlier one. So the project is now on the way. It's already completed. We are doing an extension. So we thank you all, especially the Rotary Club of Singapore, for having participated in our joint projects. So we hope to meet you all up on behalf of my president more often. And I hope that you all can visit us soon, because our first meeting we had was last week. We have a physical meeting. Most of the time we have a Zoom meeting. So I think Singapore Clubs is very, very blessed. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. People, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please have a toast to KL Viraja Club and Rotary International? Please be outstanding. KL Viraja and Rotary International. Thank you.
Yeah, it wasn't there. The traditional. No, I mean, I was there late.
Thank you, Rotarian Atul.
The football is almost closing, I understand.
And thank you, past President Frank.
Not closing, but the stores are starting to clean up, getting wrapped up for the day. I was great meeting up with Richard. I mean, this whole event. Why is he calling? Let's just go.
It doesn't move. Linda doesn't move. Slides. Yeah. All right. Birthday wishes. I think not many of us were born in this week. Only Winston Koo, 3rd of May. Best wishes to him, and he's not here. Hello. Yeah, sorry. Best wishes to wedding anniversary celebrants. Only Sanjeev and Seema Shah. He's also not here. He's on leave on 30th of April. We wish him happy wedding anniversary. Honorary Secretary's announcement. I think Bridget doesn't want to come here. I will do that. Yeah, there is only one announcement that there will not be any meeting tomorrow, service meeting, because we have 5 Thursdays this month. So 5th Thursday, there's no meeting. So I'm President's announcement, some more announcements. Okay, that's in the month of May, we have last Wednesday is a holiday, public holiday. And I've seen that there's a lot of tremendous response for our physical meetings. So first we thought to cancel it because it's a public holiday, then we have brought forward by a week. So 19th May will be physical meeting right here. And I know for this meeting, we were house full almost 2 weeks before, and we had to say no to our almost 10 members for this meeting. So next meeting on 19th of May in here in the pavilion. Of course, those who can't attend, it will be open on Zoom. Another, we are going to have a 30th district conference, governor's banquet, governors here, on Sunday, 23rd of May, 2021 at Mandarin Orchard, Singapore. Time 6:30 to 10:30, Chinese set meal. Attendees for art club limited to 25. If there are more, I can request DG, but let's go with 25. Please confirm attendance with the secretariat. Email is here. Contact Bernie or Linda, or you can send a message to me. So we would like to know how many of us will attend as soon as possible, because we have to give this information to district. What's happening? We have started this. So what's happening during the last week? So we had a project launch, which is joint project of vocational service and youth service and some fellowship. So this was, I think it was on the chat groups, some of you know about it. It was Public Health Ambassador Program, which on Friday 23rd, we had a signing ceremony. Now the objective is of this program is to train a group of Rotarians, Rotaractors, and Interactors to advocate good public health measures to help communities in COVID-19, vaccination drive, and prepare for future pandemics. Training partner, So Sui Hawk School of Public Health, National University of Singapore, and we had a signing ceremony for this collaboration on last Friday. I was there with the Dean and Professor Teo Yik Ying of SSH School of Public Health. I think this program is we are launching here. I think it will continue, and President-elect is looking at me. It is your project. Yeah, Dr. Stephen is here. Of course, he's here standing on the right-hand side in the picture. On the left-hand side is Dr. Chan. I think we have to thank Dr. Chan. It is his initiative to start this. So on 5th of June, we will have a public webinar. Why hesitate? Everything you want to know about COVID-19 vaccination, and then 10 to 1 p.m. will be a closed-door training to our Rotarians and Rotaractors and Interactors. Guest of honor, Ms. Lo Yin Ling, Minister of State, Ministry of Trade, Industry, Ministry of Community, Culture, and Youth. She's a mayor of Southwest CDC. So that's what is happening. That's what happened last week and will happen on 5th of June. Fellowship, I think we have every week. On Sunday, the Jolly Walk, and this is really becoming week after week, more Rotarians are joining and having fun with families. And here is some picture on Sunday, 25th of April, 2021. This year, when we started our Rotary year, we were 146 members. Today, we are 178 members. And next week, we are going to induct, I think, 3 or 4 more, and we will be more than 180. So what VP Suresh tells me, by 30th June, when we finish our year, it'll be 190. 190. Okay, and by July or something, it'll be 200. In the history of our club, since I joined more than 25 years ago, I've never seen this figure. And I was talking to Bernie, she said, many years ago, Rusi Cooper's time, I think we did hit 200 plus. But I haven't seen that. But this also gives us a challenge. We have 190 members. How do we, and the challenge is members' engagement. And not only, now we have 40 new members. Many clubs in Singapore do not have 40 members. So it's more than, am I right, DG? So we are more than number of clubs, only our new members. And our new members are absolutely energetic. They are bringing vibrancy in the club. They are seen and taking very active role in different activities. So I'm here to suggest or to give some idea. It's just an idea. I'm not too sure whether it's going to work, and I hope we can make it work. How do we engage the members, not only new members, but also the existing members? And we know, I think we should be honest about it. There are about 30, 35 members do not attend our meetings. And some members, 1 or 2, when I spoke to them, they had an impression, oh, they were having sympathy for me that you are the president in COVID and you had your installation under COVID and you have all the meetings virtual. So they thought nothing much is happening. I said, please attend our meeting. We are having a lot of activities, a lot of fun, and the club is vibrant. So I think they have to be engaged. So the idea comes from Jolly Walk, because we have the Jolly Walkers every week, but I find that they're the same Rotarians coming every week, maybe plus minus, more or less. Then we have volunteer program and Willing Hearts. Our members, our volunteers, they reach there at 6:30 in the morning. I'm sure they must be getting up at 5 a.m., but they are there. But again, almost the same group. Then we have Food from Heart. There is another group of our Rotarians. They go there every Saturday, not every Saturday, I think, Ruina, once in a month, twice? Once in a month, and they are there. So what does it mean? I think the Rotarians who go there, they are interested in that activity. They have the interest in walk, so they go there. So why? And I just look at why do we join Rotary Club? I think 2 things. If I summarize, friendship and fellowship, number 1. Number 2 is service. But most important is friendship and fellowship. If we have friendship, then we can go for service. So why not we make RCS interest groups, RIGs, Rotary Club of Singapore. I don't say Rotary means too general. Rotary Club of Singapore interest groups. That means we create interest groups. The first interest groups will be Jolly Walk or Jolly Walkers, because they are interested. They can make this group. They have a fellowship. They meet together. And others also can join. Volunteer program. So I do not have much time because I have to keep time for my speaker. So an idea that this could be the various interest groups. And it depends upon our members. They can create many interest groups. Jolly Walkers, volunteer Food from Heart, volunteers, willing heart. These are the three groups we already have. Why not we have a group of foodies? Singapore is food paradise. Let us know which is the best restaurant in town, which is more healthy restaurants, and enjoy the food and have the fellowship. Books. Our Harsh Hagman, you told me that you have been buying 26, 30 books at a time. So we can have a group who is interested in the books and they can share with us art, photography. Our Suresh Hathiramani is a great photographer. Theaters. And now we come to the vocation, entrepreneurship. I think if we have the group, we can train our interactors and rotaractors when they need. Blockchain, cryptocurrencies, yes, environment, sustainable. Hello. Governance, environment, and many others. So members to propose rigs and take charge. So just an idea. I think I spoke to our VP Suresh, and we can make a team who can promote this and create some groups where the members, 10 or 15, can take part. And I think with that, we start the engagement. So, and I think I will be meeting our PE, our PN and PND. Of course, those who do not understand what is PN, our guests we have president-elect who is going to be the president next year. Then we have president nominee who will be president year after. And then we have president nominee designate who will be in 2023, 24. So we are 4 of us, can always discuss what we are going to do in future, plan it. So this is the new club. We have communication with the future presidents. So, and I think this is what going to be. So that's just an idea. Please think about. Well, different subject. Every Rotarian, every year. Our commitment to Rotary Foundation. I think let the person speak about it. We said in the beginning that we want every member to be EREY. In fact, that was DG, you decided that you would like every member to be EREY. So we have not achieved that. And I think our PP Shahul is going to talk about it and promote this. So I give you PP Shahul, please.
All right, very good evening, President Dinesh, fellow Rotarians. Every Rotarian every year, what does it mean? Right, okay, I made some presentation at the last meeting, and after that day, we had 4 more global grants approved, and this was before the Helping India to Breathe Again. This is the oxygen plant in Nepal Hospital, has been approved for 123,000. Sorry. Primary healthcare center in Pune, and upgrading. The third grant that was approved is a ventilator for a pediatric unit in Bangkok for $48,000. And the 4th grant is our part 2 of our Brazil project. This is a 2-pronged Brazil project. The first one has already been approved and completed, and this was the second one that has been approved. The question that's been asked is, how do we fund all these global grants? There are a lot of figures here. I just want you to concentrate on the circled one. The total project for all our global grants, 33 of them since 1st July 2020, is about 2.28 million. Our commitment for our club works out to about $194,000. That's the budget that we have every year. Everything's in US dollars, all right? As far as global grant is concerned, everything is in US dollars. So what has happened is that we have collected a total of 86,000, all right? So we're still short. And today I would like to announce that we've received pledge of $58,000 from Ish Tolaram Foundation. Chairman is here. Can you please join me to thank Honorary Member Mohan Vaswani for the kindness of his foundation. Right, so we're still short. We're still short of about $50,000. Yes, we can approach another foundation to do it, but that's not the right thing to do. The right thing is all of us as Rotarians, we are committed to supporting our own foundation and all our projects. So today I ask all of you to consider to invest in humanity and invest in our project. They said that it's always better to give than to receive. So let's all come together and do good for the world, okay? So this is the concept, every Rotarian, every year. The badge that you wear, the Rotary badge that you wear, the moment that you are here inducted as a Rotarian, whether recently or a long time ago, that's your commitment to support projects. And that's your commitment to support our own foundation. So how does it work? You can give any amount that you want. You can give $100, you can give $1,000, or you can give anything in between. But what happens is that if you commit to give $100 a year, you will become known as the Paul Harris Sustaining Member, and you will make your commitment to support your own foundation every year. So all of us, the least that we can do is to support our own projects and our own foundation. Unfortunately, just like many other organizations, a small percentage of our members contribute to all our funds. This is something that we want to change. We are not short of funds, fellow Rotarians, we are not. But I think it's a commitment that we make to support our projects, and we would like to have as many Rotarians as possible to make this pledge so that we all can come together. Unfortunately, there's only 27 of us who have committed at least $100, who have paid at least $100, and only 21 who has given at least $1,000. So I hope this figure will change between now to 30th of June, because 1st of July, the new Rotary year starts again. At this point, I'd like to recognize our own president who has set a great precedent. His birthday was last 24th April. And to commemorate his birthday, he's given a major gift to the foundation. A major gift is a minimum $10,000. So thank you, President Dinesh, for making that first move. And to top it up, First Lady Rekha also contributed and became a Paul Harris Fellow. Thank you, Rekha. Thank you very much. So to make it easy for you, there's a QR code there. If you just click on that, the $140 can be paid directly to the club, and we will process it and we'll recognize you as a Paul Harris Sustaining Member. So thank you very much. I gave a talk recently, Invest in Humanity to Rotary Grants. It's a perfect thing to say again today. So I hope you all do your commitment and contribute to our foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, P.P. Shahul. I think very soon we are going to be giving club. So in continuation, I think let's recognize Paul Harris Fellows, our Rotarians who have recently contributed to the annual fund, and they earn some certificates, those who are new. I think we have 4 of our Rotarians, 2 very new ones, and 2, I will not say old, but very senior ones. So I would just like to call you to come here and receive the certificate and pin. Francisco, he's our very new Rotarians, and he becomes Paul Harris Fellow. You can come here. I think this time you have to walk. This time guys is 4th age. Past President Paliat Mohandas. We get to 6th pin. I think one of our newest Rotarians not here, and who has become major donor level 1. His wife is here, Tom Wolf. Anyway, no, I'm not calling you. We We'll wait for the next time. Membership kit presentation. I think we have been inducting our new members mostly during virtual meetings. So we do not meet physically. So we have started this, all our new Rotarians, whenever we have a chance meeting physical, we give them the membership kit, which has a Rotary information, a pin. So we have two wonderful new Rotarians. Both are women, and we were waiting for them. Okay. Yeah, I know. You want speaker to come here. All right, I'll be fast. These are the two newer Rotarian. Maria, can you come here? Aya. No, she wants to be known as Aya. Yeah. Pauline? Pauline, you here? Yeah. We have another award. I think we are taking full advantage of our physical meeting. Bridget, I hope, Magnus, you will bear with us. Service above self, that is the motto of Rotary. And this is this is the highest award which can be given to any Rotarian by Rotary International. And one of our Rotarian, his past presidents, this award was announced in June last year, but he was not given the physical award. And to give this award, that's why I requested DG to come here, and DG agreed to give this award. And who the Rotarian is? Past President Tapan Rao. So now I'll call upon past President Shahul, who will read the citation because he has been very much involved on the projects together with him. PP Shahul, please.
Fellow Rotarians, the Service Above Self Award is the highest award that can be given to any Rotarian. It's limited to just one nomination per district per year, and we have 550 districts, but limited to a maximum of 150 winners per year. He's the fourth awardee from RC Singapore, dead or alive, since the inception of the award in 1991. Tapan Kumar Rao joined Rotary in India in 1999. He became a member of RC Singapore in 2004 and served as president in 2011-2012. He's also an honorary member of RC Purulia, RC Hooghly, RC Midnapur, RC Domkal Murshidabad, and RC, oh, that's it, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and RC Bhubaneswar Royal. So this in the states of West Bengal as well as Odisha. In RC Singapore, his passion is the eradication of avoidable blindness, basic education and literacy through e-learning, water and sanitation hygiene, and pediatric cardiac surgery. He has been involved in eye projects in Cambodia, India, Nigeria, and literacy and WASH in schools and communities in India. Through the global grants of the Rotary Foundation, Tapan has been involved with 28 approved global grants for RC Singapore and District 3310 for 16 clubs throughout India and Nigeria under this area of focus. He has also organized 15 Rotary eye camps from 2002 and 2018 with several Rotary clubs in India and Cambodia. Tapan was also involved with the initiation of the Gift of Sight program, where eye surgeons were flown from India to Cambodia to provide training for local doctors, as well as perform consultation and free surgeries. Tapan was also involved in the formation of the eye surgery clinic within Pursat Provincial Hospital in Cambodia. From 2012 to 2019, Tapan has been champion of 50,000 cataract surgeries for communities in East India to Rotary clubs in Zone 6A, India. Tapan has been also involved with the provision of 2,500 toilets in India and champions the eradication of open defecation and implementation of hygiene standards across schools and communities. He's also deeply involved with Rotary International literacy movement in India and working towards implementing e-learning in 500 schools in India. Having spent his formative years in Calcutta, attending school and observing firsthand the various inequalities in society, Tapan gained inspiration from the time he spent volunteering alongside Mother Teresa herself at the Order of the Missionaries of Charity in Calcutta. Through the order, he gained a great insight to the poor and destitute in society and now works towards making villages in India certified avoidable blindness free, as well as making India open defecation free. His motto for service to the community, as personally advised by Mother Teresa herself, is to always find himself a significant cause, and all else, including money and funding, will follow. Fellow Rotarians, excuse Tapan Kumara.
Yeah, Tapan.
Thank you, Bibi Shaul. May I now call, thank you. May I now call DG Rajamohan to give this award, and past President Tapan, can you please come here? Thank you, DG Mohan. Thank you so much. Congratulations, PP Tapan. Okay, another major project. This is our club's major project, 2020 and 2021. We are really an happening club. So all of you know that we will be providing the kitchen equipment to beneficiaries in willing heart, and they'll be happy Rotary Kitchen. I do not have time to speak more on this, and you know it. So last year's donors are here, Rotarian Suhami, Rotarian, all new Rotarians, Rotarian Arnold, and of course, PP Tapan, PP Parayat Mohandas, Rotarian Peter Brock, Louisa Lee, Manish, our treasurer, Rotarian Uttam, PP J.K. Ong, Toshi Omiyama, and Raji Mukul. Thank you so much. So we have now cumulative 120,524. We have to reach a target of 166,000. So another 40,000 to go within a couple of days. I hope we will make it. Thank you once again to all the donors. Okay. Bridget, you're happy now? So the guest speaker we are all waiting for and is Magnus Grimeland. He's a founder and CEO of Antler, and topic is Tech for Impact, enabling and investing in exceptional people. To introduce our speaker, may I call Rotarian Vineet Iyengar.
That's a better thing to have up there. Okay. Good evening, fellow Rotarians, Rotarians, guests. When I was looking up our guest on Google, I got an, sometimes when you watch a very exciting sports match, it could be, if you're a cricket fan, it's a T20 match or a very good basketball match. The whole match sometimes feels like a highlights reel. There's so many exciting moments over there. You don't know what to leave out, what to really talk about. Believe me, look up Magnus, you'll get the same feeling about his career. I can't even leave out his first summer job when he was 16 years old, because at that age, he decided he's going to teach people how to climb glaciers. That was his summer job and apparently his favorite one. So he was already at age 16, pushing people past their limits, telling people to challenge what they know about themselves and challenging himself. From there, he went on to become a Marine commando, a Navy SEAL, if you will, for Norway, right? Pushing his body to the limit this time to figure out what's possible. And then he decided, hey, let's push the mind a bit, and goes to Harvard University and studies economics over there. He might talk about, or you can talk to him offline, on parallels between being a Marine commando and being a student at Harvard, and he actually has found commonalities between the two, right? And then he starts off his career. Starts it off at McKinsey. I've had a lot of friends at McKinsey, and they would have thought making partner at McKinsey is probably the pinnacle of their career. Nope, stepping stone number one for Magnus, because he became a junior partner in McKinsey fairly early enough and decided to move on to greater things. Joined Rocket Internet as an MD, probably got into all the new tech space at that time, decided to start his own after a few years, founded Zalora. Any of you who've got your fashion fix online in this part of the world know what Zalora is. I believe my wife is wearing something she bought on Zalora. It's a site which has 50 million monthly visits. That's huge. That's what brought him to Singapore. He founded it over here, sold it over here, presumably became very rich in the process. Was the MD and CEO for Global Fashion Group, which bought Zalora for a while, and then started the Antler Group. And that's what you see up here. Antler is an early stage VC firm dealing in high-tech startups. They have nearly 200 portfolio companies in the past 2 years across 6 continents and multiple cities. I'll let him talk about what he does there and what his message is for all of us here. But I just read this one brilliant quote about Antler, that at Antler, you walk in as a brilliant individual and you come out with a strong team owning and running a fast-growing technology business. That's what he does for work, finds brilliant people and makes them successful technology business owners, which is exactly what he's going to talk to us about today. I give you all Magnus Grimeland.
Thanks a lot. Best introduction ever. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. It was also incredibly exciting to see all of the projects you've been working on. Once the computer is ready, I'll step out so people can see me on screen as well. But I remember growing up actually in the very countryside of Norway. So I grew up in farm country. There was about 60 people living in my little village. And it was about 10 kilometers bike ride to the closest community center. And literally, let's see if we can get it up here. I think it's not showing on that screen. Thanks. Yeah, so literally, you'd bike 10 kilometers to this community center. And down in the little corner next to the door, there was this Rotary sign, like the sign of your club, and I remember seeing that when I was very young, when I was a child, which meant that some community project had been done there by Rotary. So I think, the things that you're doing are affecting people all across the globe, including me when I was a child, which is truly exceptional. This is where I grew up. You can see it, up in the left-hand corner there. Then went off to Wales, United World College. My whole life story was already told, so I'm not going to go through it again. But as we were building Zalora here in the region, which is now the biggest fashion e-commerce company here, we realized a few things. We would hire these incredible people to be part of building Zalora, and they would learn about building a tech company. They would learn about performance marketing. They would learn about coding, about product development. And some people would stay with us and help build a company. Other people would leave and use that skill set to build other great companies. And this you see everywhere. So out of Zalora, for example, Nadim and Kevin, who Kevin used to do our BI in Indonesia. Nadim used to run Indonesia for Zalora. They went and built Gojek. Probably most of you heard about Gojek. You heard about Shopee? Yeah, Chris Feng, who built Shopee. He used to run our buying department. He set up a number of our countries. Some of you heard about Stashaway. Stashaway is a big robo-advisor here. It's usually an online private wealth manager. Michele Ferrario, who built that, used to be part of Zalora. And a bunch of other companies, like Shopback, Lookout. I can stand there and mention 30, 40 of them. That was built by people who came into Zalora and worked with us on building Zalora and later used that skill set to build something new. And obviously, if you look at Gojek now, if you look at Shopee, they're hired, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Gojek claim, they through secondary effects, they give jobs to more than 1 million people. And obviously, they have contributed quite a lot during the COVID crisis to make things easier for a ton of people and also ensure that people can work throughout this crisis. So there's a tremendous kind of secondary impact of building something great. And you see that in every single ecosystem across the globe. If you build one great tech business, that will train a bunch of other people. And a few of the very best ones will leave and build something new that is great. Whether that's, a new type of, cancer treatment, or it's a new type of app or delivery or solving some specific problem, this is what happens. I think there's some feedback here now. Okay. Okay now? Hello? Oh, sorry. So that became the idea behind Antler, basically. To accelerate that process. So we work with exceptional people all across the globe to build a better future by solving important problems through building fast-growing tech companies around them at scale. So that was the idea with Antler, literally doing what you saw naturally happen in Zalora at scale all across the globe. And now is truly the best time ever to innovate for a number of different reasons. So number one, the world is for the first time truly global, right? So I'll give one short example. So how long do you think it took the airline industry to get 50 million customers, meaning 50 million unique people had flown on an airplane? 50 years? Any other guesses? 100? Yeah, somewhere in between. 68 million. Oh, sorry, 68 years. 68 years. 68 years for 50 million customers to fly. How long did it take Pokemon Go? And everyone heard about Pokemon Go? Yeah, 14 days. It took Twitter 2 years. I think it took the TV industry something like 50, somewhere between 40 and 50. So you can build companies now, whether it's B2B, whether it's deep tech, whether it's B2C, any type of company, and you can serve the world almost from anywhere, right? You can build billion-dollar businesses out of Stockholm, out of Sydney, out of Singapore, out of Jakarta, out of Bangalore, like all across the globe. And there's more and more news coming out in terms of the returns on capital being much higher in places outside of Silicon Valley for the first time in a number of decades. So that's number one. Second reason why it's the best time ever to build companies right now is a lot of the technologies that we saw in sci-fi movies and used to be in the labs are now coming into everyday products, right? Artificial intelligence is used to discover cancer. It's used in all of our phones. IoT, blockchain, genome technology, biochemistry. There's like 12, 14 new highly potent technologies that are coming out of labs and out of science fiction and changing everything. And they can solve really, really important problems. And that has always happened. Like the world has always moved forward and technology has always helped move the world forward. However, not at this scale. You've never seen, you used to have like a century or a decade influenced by one technological change. Now we have 12 of them or more happening at the same time. Third thing is the cost of building a new business has gone down drastically, right? Like when we were building Zalora, we had huge server rooms of computers that run all of our software. 2-3 years after that, we can get rid of all those computers and put all of our data on the cloud. Reduce costs like crazy. Hardware prototyping, new methods of testing drugs. Like think about the COVID vaccine that most of us are taking now. That was ready in March last year, right? So, you know, the cost of building all of these new technologies has gone down drastically. It used to cost something in the order of $25 to $50 million to build an international, you know, business. Like I can get together with like 4 or 5 of you and we can launch a multinational business in 2 days for, you know, $5,000. And, you know, yes, it still costs to scale, but the cost of starting something new and really innovating has gone down drastically. The last one is rapid disruption. So if you became a company at S&P 500 or one of the 500 biggest companies in the US about 50 years ago, what do you think the average lifetime on that index was? Like if you became one of the world's largest companies, how long would you remain one of the world's largest companies? 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, half a decade. No, sorry, half a century. So that means if you become a big company, you will remain a big company for a long time. How much do you think it is now, like the average age? 5 years, 2 years? It's 12 years, so it's a bit longer than that, but that's much lower than 50 years, and this will continue to happen. Like people think that companies like Apple, Google, and these guys that are now becoming incredibly good can't be unseated, but they will be, and they will be unseated by the companies that are being built today. And the last part is, you all know there's a bunch of large unsolved problems that exceptional people need to work on solving. And that's why it's so incredibly important and the best time ever to build a new business. On top of that, we're all aware of the COVID situation, with a lot of new emerging problems having emerged overnight, from education to the way we work, to just solving major health problems. So it's the best time ever to build new businesses. And I think entrepreneurs and exceptional people who want to build, before they had an obligation to themselves to fulfill their dreams, and then an obligation to their investors to deliver strong returns. But now, exceptional people and people who think about building something and solving a problem, they also have an obligation to society to innovate. So then, if it's the best time ever to build companies, why do almost all of them fail? Right? Like, what do you think globally of all startups being built in the tech space? What do you think is the percentage of startups who fail? Anyone? 99, 95? Yeah, it's broadly the agreement is around 93%. So that means if you're investing into a startup today just randomly, there's a 93% chance you lose all your money. But it doesn't need to be that way. Like if you do the research on why startups fail, it comes down to very basic reasons, typically. So number one is no market need. What does that mean? You have some incredible people working on something that doesn't make sense at all to work on, right? They haven't validated the business model. Might be a problem from them, but not a problem from any other people. Second one is run out of cash. I'll get back to that later. And the third one is not the right team, right? And I know this, like being an entrepreneur and a founder today, for the people who are like a bit familiar with the space, it's almost like being a movie star in the past. It's like so many people want to be a founder or an entrepreneur just to be an entrepreneur. It's like a cool thing to do, which just leads to a ton of people sitting around in workplaces all over the place, building a business because they want to build a business. Now, if you have a serious team with serious entrepreneurs that are working on solving a problem that really makes sense, you will get the capital in today's world. The capital is there. So if you solve those two, in most cases, you will succeed. And the 93% goes down to probably 10 or 20%. There's still a risk. But you know, the core reasons for why startups fail is very basic. So what we've done in Antler is, you know, over the last 3 years, we worked, you know, we assessed more than 70,000 founders all across the globe that applied to be part of our program, that won our investment. We built about 300 new companies the last 3 years. And we'll be building another 200 this year, all across the globe. And our failure rate is less than 10%. Mostly by just focusing relentlessly on those 2 points. Finding great founders, building great teams with them, and ensuring that we truly validate the business model and the problem they're trying to solve, and that the technology that they're using can actually solve that problem. So we started doing this in Singapore. So Antler is headquartered in Singapore. We started searching for a bunch of founders here in 2018. We selected about 62 founders out of about 1,400 applicants. And then we expanded it to the rest of the world. So we're now present in the Nordics, in the UK, Central Europe is Amsterdam and Berlin, San Francisco, LA, New York, Nairobi. We just set up in Bangalore. Unfortunately, we had to put things a little bit on hold there now due to COVID. 3 of our team members had COVID, so we're focusing now on finding ways to donate oxygen. In Australia, we're in Sydney, and in China, we're in Beijing, and we're about to set up in Seoul, Tel Aviv, Sao Paulo, and Toronto. In each of these locations, founders come to us who want to build a new business. So we get about 50,000 applicants per year now. We select the top 3% of them, and we end up investing in about 1% of them and help them build their new business. So this is the process. So, you know, someone would send an application to antler.co, or with Headhunt and kind of find an exceptional individual. We get about 50,000 of those applicants. We select the top 3% of them based on 3 criteria. We want to see a spike. That could be that you're an incredible product designer, great coder, or it could be that you're just great with people, or it could be anything else. We want to see something. Founders are typically not average on everything. They're typically really great at something, and then they might suck at a bunch of other things. So a spike. Second, drive, like the ability to get stuff done. That's a combination of passion and ability to execute. Third one is grit. Like, and this brings back to my Navy SEAL training. It's like, I tell you, there were so many people who started. We were 1,000 people starting the Navy SEAL training, and we were 10 people who came out at the end. I tell you, we had, you know, Norwegian champions in swimming, cross-country skiing, like tremendously fit people who didn't make the selection. Because it doesn't come down to like how amazing you are. Typically, you need to be really strong, but then you need to have grit, like the ability to not give up. And that's incredibly important as an entrepreneur, because you're going to hit the wall again and again and again and again and again on that journey. So we select the top 3% based on those criteria. Some people have been lucky like me. They, you know, worked at a great place. They went to great school. Other people might have grown up in a slum in Mumbai. They were lucky to get a job in Flipkart, and now they want to build their own business. So by doing it this way, we democratize entrepreneurship. We lower the barrier. We provide the right and the same opportunity for everyone. So we have a very diverse set of founders. Then we invest in the top 1% of them after we worked with them for 3 months to help validate their co-founding team and their business model. So after 3 months of them sitting in our office, one of our places across the globe, we invest about $100,000 for 10% equity in their business. And then we help introduce them to other investors, customers, help bring the product to the market, and then invest in their subsequent rounds as they grow. And we do this now about 200 times a year. So the top 1% of the 50,000 applicants. We gather a lot of data to help make those decisions. We learn a lot about what works and what doesn't work. For example, we learned that on average, the best, team for building a business at the margin is 3 people. 2 people is better, is the second best. 4 people is the third best. 1 person is the 4th best. 5 people is worse than 1 person because you become too many decision makers. There's stuff like this that we pull out of our data that helps us make better decisions, basically. And we have about 1 million new data points coming in here every year to help us find better founders. And then we put together an advisory network of people, like brilliant people like yourself. You probably know some of these people. If you go on our website, you can see all 500 of them. If you're interested in being part of this network, reach out after. We have, doctors, professors, CEOs, other founders, like for example, like Andreas Ehn was part of building Spotify, that have offered up their time to help these founders in the really early days. Because if one of you come to us or come to me with a new rocket engine design, I can help you kind of with your team, with your funding, give you some advice on your marketing, but I can't help you to say whether this is a good design or not. But in this network, we have people who've worked in SpaceX, worked at NASA. You can find those experts and help validate the business model early. So what type of businesses come out of this, right? So top corner there, this is a really cool Singaporean company called Breathonics, which we just invested in and helped build. They originally were doing lung cancer research. So how can you discover lung cancer through breath tests? Then COVID came and they realized, hey, we can use the same technology to discover COVID. They adapted instruments about 60, it takes now about 60 seconds for them to discover COVID with 85% accuracy. So when the world opens up, and you have to go through airports, go to stadiums, whatever, you can do a simple test like you do when the alcohol test when you're driving a car to test whether you have COVID. And yes, it won't discover everything, but it will discover some and then reduce the chance of infection. And they are now testing this in Dubai Airport and Changi Airport, and they're expanding quickly. This is a drone company that flies over power lines, use machine learning to discover where trees have fallen or might fall, so you avoid forest fires. And these drones cost next to nothing, so you can have them flying around your infrastructure all the time and check for faults. And they have expanded all across Europe in a matter of months. This is a AI IoT company that helps reduce the power usage in homes. So like all types of companies we help build, we just look for great founders and then we help them validate their business model, whether that's lung cancer or COVID detection or AI optimization of your home. And we do this 200 times a year. Now, what does this lead to? So I think there are a few things it leads to. So A, it helps solve problems, right? I really do believe that we all as individuals have responsibility. Organizations like Rotary has a great responsibility. Governments has a great responsibility. But the world's largest problems are going to be solved by exceptional people innovating around them. Like the only way to solve the climate crisis is innovation. The only way to solve the difference between very poor or bringing poor people out of poverty is innovation and economic growth. Same with health, you bring health care. Same with fixing longevity issues. Like the world's large problems are going to be solved by people innovating, and we help increase the pace of innovation. The other thing is the direct impact on the economy, right? Which has been incredibly important the last year and will be important going forward, creating new jobs, contributing to the economy. And the other thing is providing equal opportunities to all founders. It's incredible, like you probably all know some of these stories, and some of you might be these stories yourself, right? Where you might be in a better position now than you were when you grew up. And you might have been a little bit lucky on that journey. A lot of it is hard work, but a lot of it is also meeting the right mentor, getting the right opportunity. If you haven't done that yourself, you probably know people who have. And we offer really the same. If you're an exceptional person, but you have no education and grew up in the slum in Mumbai, as I mentioned earlier, or you happen to go to Stanford and Harvard and worked in Goldman or whatever, you know, we look at the intrinsics of you as a founder, and then we provide you the same opportunity. That means that we have ended up supporting much more women than the average VC fund. 40% of our portfolio companies have a female co-founder. 80% of those has a female CEO. People from 17 nationalities. A lot of people from underrepresented groups. And we help them innovate. So that's kind of the story. I think the big thing that I want to share here is like our thinking around this. And obviously, I know a lot of you are doing it already, and we were talking about it over dinner. The importance of entrepreneurship and all the people that you know around you who are getting started on that journey. You know, a lot of you have done that yourself and can be, I think, exceptionally helpful in ensuring a positive outcome. So that's a little bit about how we look at innovation for impact and how we do it in Antler. And I think with that, not sure if we still have time, but if there are any questions, now's the time, or you can reach out to Andrea, who sits over there, which you saw earlier, and myself over email. I'm not sure if we have time for questions or not. Yeah. All right, any questions? That solves the problem. There's one question over there. Hi. Yeah. So we do that as well. Now we are more in the kind of area of the example I like to live is the example I like to give is if you want to build a kebab shop, then we are not the right partner. If you want to build a new type of kebab meat that is used in, let's say, plant-based kebab meat, which is used in all kebabs in the world, then we're the right partner, because that's the type of stuff that we'd like to support. But so if you're, yeah. So that we do. If that's the ambition to truly do that kind of step change, then for sure. We also come in later stages and not only work with companies from scratch.
And so on. Yeah. Do you take that also on board as social enterprise, and how you actually look at impact, social impact into consideration?
Yeah, great question. So stage-wise, definitely, like we love coming in as early as we can. So if this is kind of in the pilot phase, it's fantastic. In terms of the impact angle, we invest in all of those businesses managing other LPs' capital. So we invest in companies that have a big impact, but they also need to be able to kind of deliver a return. So
that's exactly my question.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
do you count? If you are talking about social investment, you are talking about lower percentage, but you have to take into consideration the social impact, which actually can be measured
Yeah.
and bring back as return on investment?
Exactly. Okay, good. So on the KPIs, the way we measure this is threefold. So first of all, we measure the platform level impacts, which is like the diversity metrics we have, the number of jobs we create. We map all of our portfolio companies on the UN SDGs. And based off of that, we get a platform impact, right? This is the impact of every single kind of fund that we have. Now, out of those portfolio companies, there will be some companies like Berthonics, which has a very clear dual impact, right? There's a health impact, and then there's obviously they're building a very successful business. In which case, they report back on the health KPIs that they have an impact on. But that will be very different from the PowerX company, which doesn't have any kind of health impact, but it has an environmental impact. And about 35% of our portfolio will be companies like this that has a clear double impact. And about 65% of the portfolio will only have that platform impact. But we report back on both of those. And then the third lens is then like us as a company ourselves, like how do we run our investment committees? What are our own code of conduct, our own values? And they will report according to the UN PRI ESG responsible investment framework.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Perfect.
So I read it, it's from our Rotarian Artie. It's quite, I think, a very down-to-earth question. How do you define failure? Like business closing down or not hitting a certain size?
A failure for us is, I mean, obviously, it's a clear failure if the business stops operating. But for us, it's also, there are some companies that will remain and kind of tag along if even if and it will be a failure even if the company didn't shut down, right? The founders might have ended up doing something completely different, and then the company is just dormant, in which case we also consider it a failure. I think the important thing with failure, though, is we try to install, we also test for this when we select founders, we try to install this mindset of failure not being an option in our founders, right? There's a lot of talk about entrepreneurship and failing a few times being a great learning journey, and you can use that to then build something new, which I think is true. But if you go into a new venture thinking, I'm doing this for a learning journey, or it's okay to fail, you're gonna fail. You gotta go into a new business and a new venture with the attitude that failure is not an option. With the attitude that I'm gonna succeed no matter what. And you might not have that naturally, then you need to build that mentality. Because everyone who goes into like building, I mean, there's a lot of people around here who's built businesses, right? It's tough, it's hard, it takes time. And if you go in there and thinking, hey, you know, I'm doing this to check it out, worst case scenario, I'm gonna learn a lot, and I'll do it again, then you're not gonna succeed. So we try to build that mindset, and I think that's very helpful, and I think that's partly led to kind of the outcome we had. It's still okay to fail. It's just important to have that mindset going in. Like I failed, I think a lot of people around the table has failed on something. It's okay to fail, but you can't go in with that mindset. This is adding to the question because I think it's one of the things that we talk a lot about. Yeah. Yeah. So first there's a 6-month selection process, right? And some people will apply at the end of the process, some people will apply in the beginning, but we select the top 3% that we bring into the program. Then they come to our office, typically around 100 people will come. For 3 months, we spend time just ensuring that we have optimal teams. So that if some people come in with co-founders already, some people need a co-founder, let's say you're an amazing engineer and technologist, but you never built a business before in your life, so you have no operational experience, then we try to find a co-founder with that experience. Other thing is we keep validating and iterating the business model to ensure that they're working on something that will really solve a big enough problem to truly scale and be a great business. So out of that, about 40 teams will form out of 100 founders. So that's about 2.5 founders per team. They present to our investment committee after 3 months. We invest in all of them that we believe have an exceptional team and a well-validated business model. So sometimes we end up investing in 10 of the 40. Other times we end up investing in 20. Sometimes we invest in 7. On average, we end up investing in about 15 out of the 14 teams. The remaining 15 teams stay in our office for another 3 months, where it's all about bringing the product to the market, getting that next round of funding so you can get more capital to deploy around your ID, and then scale as quickly as possible. And then obviously we support then our portfolio for all the way up until their IPO, and they can partake in the latter investment rounds in the fast growing part of the portfolio. So there's a long-term support, but the core program is run in that way. To ensure that we invest in like really serious people trying to solve a really serious problem. Yeah. Yeah.
Magnus, what has been the 2 or 3 biggest challenges with this venture fund for you personally? And what has been the biggest challenges in your personal journey, as this is a shift in your career?
So in terms of, you know, I think when anyone here is kind of trying to innovate and do something slightly new, you know, if you look at Singapore, I think there's something like 134 early stage ventures of some sort. Like these are people who invest into early stage companies. When you haven't done anything yet, explaining to people how this is different is challenging. So that's obviously one thing that you need to get over as a hurdle. Then you need to bring on board exceptional people in the same way, right? You don't have anything yet. You have an ID, some PowerPoint. We had a small office over the Black Swan. You know, that's only 3.5 years ago now. We had a tiny office over the Black Swan. We had space for 3 people. And you want to convince great people to join you to kind of build this thing, right? I think everyone has recognized that. Then you need to convince investors to come on board. So I think it's all of those standard things that most entrepreneurs have gone through to build something like this. It's really not all that different. Now, in terms of kind of personal challenges, I think one that I thought was very interesting is I was a consultant. Like, how many in this room has worked as a consultant at some point in time? Right, there's a few. Like, going from a consultant to doing a highly operational role is challenging in the beginning. Like, I came from McKinsey. I was used to kind of meeting leaders and coming with analysis and ideas about how to do things differently. Then actually making those decisions every day and executing on them was completely different. So when we were building Zalora, and I had to go from making 1 great suggestion a week to making 100 right decisions a day, that was a major kind of transition for me. And it, you know, it slaps you in the face like crazy when you start building a business. Obviously, the other thing that I, coming from Europe, had to learn was if you build an e-commerce business in Southeast Asia, you can't just, at least at the time, now it's getting easier, but at least at the time, you can't really plug into an existing delivery network, right? We struggled with stuff like payments. In Indonesia, I think when we launched, there was 3% bank card, credit card penetration. In Europe, like 98% of all transactions on e-commerce is paid by bank card or equivalent type thing. So we can plug into payment system. So then we launched bank transfer, which was terrible. You go on the site, you buy, you get a code, you got to go to the bank, then pay at the bank, get a code from the bank, go back to your computer, upload the code, and then you get your order. What do you think the cancellation rate was on that, right? Like how many customers did you lose as they were walking to the bank and back? Any guesses? About 50%. They really wanted to buy this thing, but hey, they didn't care to go to the bank. So we launched cash on delivery in Indonesia, which means that we'd have a package from our warehouse in Jakarta that we sent to some other warehouse, to some truck, to some plane, to another truck, to a motorbike, to a boat, to another motorbike, to some person who received their address, paid $8 in Indonesian rupiah, and had to go all the way back through this network in a country where that sometimes can be a challenge. So when we launched this payment on delivery system, we had 108 days of working capital in this logistics network. And for anyone who's run retail, that's tough on the retail business. And we had to work very hard to kind of bring that down. We managed to bring it down to 4 days, where we integrated with APIs and so on for different logistics providers. So these things, you know, I think any entrepreneur and anyone who's building anything or been part of a fast-growing business, which probably most of the people here in the room has, because I mean the region has just been growing so fast over the last decade. It's like you get challenges like this that you would never imagine. Like another time we'd spent day and night. We moved more than 1 million dresses and shoes and clothes from one warehouse to another in Indonesia. And we were going to open, and we had like trucks going back and forward over the weekend. We're ready to open, start delivering our orders. None of the warehouse workers want to go in because somebody has spotted the ghost. Then we needed to clean the warehouse for ghosts, which, you know, so these things you experience as an entrepreneur, which you learn a ton from, and you know, it makes some people stronger, and those are the people I think who will go out there and build great businesses, and make other people say, ah, this was a great learning journey. I'm going to go and do something else. So, yeah, those are some stories. All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And yeah, please reach out if we can help with anything, or if you want to be involved. We're looking for great founders, great people, advisors. Yeah, reach out if we can also help anyone here with any of your projects. We'd like to be as much service as possible. Thank you.
May I call Harsh Hangman to give a word of thanks?
Okay, thanks, Magnus. I think we all could have sit another hour or two longer, but it was a very insightful, a very inspiring presentation. I was actually remembered on Fridtjof Nansen when you presented the journey and how to improve. This is a Norwegian explorer of the 19th century who also won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1922. So like an explorer into the end, we have to overcome all these obstacles, skiing through Greenland in 1888. We saw the spirit of the entrepreneur, a can-do attitude when you sail with your ship in 1893 to the North Pole. And you probably also wonder why I'm doing that ice cold. It's the same again with the entrepreneur and creating innovation. So yeah, this is the similarities between the attitude of a 19th century explorer looking for the last white on the world map to find businesses, to support businesses, and to create innovation in the 21st century. So thanks, Magnus, for your presentation and inspiration tonight. And yeah, I hope maybe one time we see you soon with part 2.0 of Antler. Thank you.
Thank you, Horst. Thank you. So now, next week, we have a speaker, Mr. Karthi Vidya, CEO and founder of NGO Team Everest. Topic to be advised. I think we don't have, sorry about that we have now overshoot our time a little bit, but I think it was very interesting speech, presentation and question and answer. Bridget is not happy that we took more time on others. Okay, everybody's here. They can't log out, you know. Yeah, it's still there. Everybody is there. Anyway, before I close, I think I would like to really thank our team and all these arrangements you see on the screen, a couple of laptops, and this is all done in-house, no external help. And let me thank, you have seen our Linda, she's been running around, she's done excellent work. And another, our Rotarian young man, where is you? Ting Yong Ong? Ting Yong? He's there. Thank you. He did marvelous job and all, and of course, Bernie, you know that. I can't say much. How she works whole day with me, and thank you so much. So we have a team, and all of you know Bridget, you know, she's a hard task master. Okay. So it works. Thank you very much, and thank you once again, everybody. And here and staying up to 9:30, thank you so much. And now, thank you, DG. And thank you, Nika, you there. So I think it's time now to close the meeting. Meeting is closed. Thank you. Thank you.